Well, okay. I'd like to start to talk to you about how this course is going to unfold this semester. This is going to be a brief audio video sort of walking you through how I expect you to use Blackboard and walking you through the main components of the course. You can expect every week to find a new video in this spot right in the middle of your home page for this class, right underneath the banner there. And I'll kind of walk you through each week. I'll walk you through each unit. So this particular week, I want to walk you through Blackboard in general and the course in general. So what you see when you look at the home page here is you see 4 folders, and these are very, very important folders. The welcome folder is where you need to spend some time right away. And then after that, you need to spend a lot of time in the learning units folder. The learning units folder on the right there is the one you're going to be using the most often. Class participation folder is something I want you to know about. It's actually linked to the learning units folder. The two have a cross link between them, which I'll get to in a minute. And then finally on the left is a class, bottom right is a class resources folder, which is pretty interesting too, and I'll talk to you about that. So let's go to the welcome folder first. Okay, here's the welcome folder. And what you see here is I have these little attitude checks in each folder. They're kind of fun. They're just little polls. They're anonymous, and they're just fun. So take those. They're interactive. I think you'll enjoy them. Now what you see are 6 really critical, important documents. You see the syllabus. That's the class Bible. You absolutely have to read it. It has all the logistics for the class, all the policies for the class. It really gives you the goals for the class. Okay. After you do that, you should take the syllabus quiz. It's light and fun. It's open book. Okay. But you really need to take that quiz, and it's actually a graded quiz. There's also something about the writer's memo. Every single assignment you write for this class, other than discussions, but every single major writing assignment, you'll have a writer's memo with it. That's critical. I give you the rubric here, item on the right in the middle. That tells you what I'm looking for as I assess papers. Then on the bottom left unfolds all your major assignments, your major writings for the class, and then on the bottom right are the due dates for the major writings. Okay, so that's the welcome folder. It really behooves you to be quite familiar with that. Now let's go to the next folder. Right underneath the welcome folder is something called the class participation folder. And this is an internet class, and we never meet face-to-face, and we never even meet online, but you do hear from me constantly. You hear from me every week through videos like this. You'll often see me, and then you hear from me every week, and you hear from each other every week with classroom discussion, just like you'd have at a face-to-face class. It's my theory that you can't teach an online class unless you've already taught the same class face-to-face. And let me tell you, I've taught W131 dozens and dozens and dozens, feels like hundreds it may be, of times face-to-face too, okay? So basically you're going to have discussions just about every week, sometimes multiple discussion topics, and these are called discussion boards, discussion forums, discussion threads. Those are all interchangeable terms, and they're very well laid out in your learning units folder, which I'll get to in a minute. And basically look for 2 or 3 of these every week. Sometimes you'll have just one, and near the end of the course you won't have any because you'll be busy working on your research paper. But basically I give you a topic for each discussion, and you need to respond to that topic. Then you need to respond to what 2 of your peers had to say about that topic, and then you need to respond to what I had to say about that topic. So basically you have to get into each discussion multiple times weekly to see what's going on to make sure you're there. And in order to get 100%, a good grade in other words, on those, you must have responded a total of 4 times. Once to the topic itself, you need to kind of, it's like a question. I give you a question, you need to answer it. These aren't true or false questions, these are critical thinking questions. And then you need to respond to what 2 of your peers said, and then you need to respond to what I've said. In the rare event that I either fail to respond or don't need to respond to a particular discussion topic, you still need an extra post. You must have 4 posts in order to get 100. If you have 3, you get a 90. If you have 2, you get an 80. If you have 1, you get a 70. And anything less than that, you get a 0. Okay? And these posts need to have some content to them. I expect several paragraphs each time, well thought out, not just yes or no responses. So that's how the discussions work. You also have peer reviews throughout the semester, and they act like discussions too, so that's also part of your class participation credit. Now at the bottom of this window, you'll see, at the bottom of this folder, you'll see that there are 4 additional folders, and they actually have the discussions in them, but the same discussions are linked to the learning modules. So once you understand this folder, its contents, and what it all means, you really can find the same material in the learning module folder. So that said, let's go over to the learning module folder. And if I'm going through this quickly, I apologize, but I have to, it has to be under 10 minutes so I can upload it to YouTube. Once again, there's another attitude check. Like I said, these are fun. Okay, here are the 4 units for the class. The class is laid out in units rather than weeks, okay, but they correspond to weeks. But basically, Unit 1, which is what we're in now, is a 4-week unit about the rhetorical situation. And if you click on that link, you'll find out exactly what's required of you for that unit. Unit 2 is a 3-week unit about introduction to analysis. Unit 3 is actually the research paper. It's a 7-week unit. And then Unit 4 is your portfolio. It's the power revision All right, and in this class you get to revise everything. So I give you grades, I give you assessments, I give you revision strategies, and then at the end of the semester you turn everything else in again for a final grade or for an improved grade, hopefully. So let me show you exactly what's in one of the learning units. For instance, if we clicked on Unit 1, the rhetorical situation, we would see a page that looks like this. On the left, you always see a menu, a table of contents, I call it. That's a linked table of contents. If it's a little bit narrow, if you don't see all this, just expand it to the right, mouse over the border between the table of contents and the first document on the right, and then drag, and you can expand this so you can see everything. All your due dates are here. Everything's in order. In order to get an A in this class, okay, all you have to do is go through everything in the table of contents in order, complete all those assignments. That's all you have to do. If you do that for all 4 units, you'll get an A, guaranteed. All right. Most students don't want to do that for some reason. Baffles me. Okay. Basically, when you open the unit, you see the Unit 1 overview. It's already over here on the right. That opens automatically. That tells you what to expect in the unit. Okay. Then when you click on the next item, Unit 1 readings, let me show you what you get. Excuse me. Go down here. You get the actual readings for the unit. Now, this is a PDF file, and these are often have links on them. If you look at the bottom, you'll see where I have some web articles. Those are links. So it doesn't do you any good to start printing out all this information. Don't do that. There's always hyperlinks and all of this. You must go through all this and read everything I ask you to. If you don't, you won't get a good grade in the class. It's that simple. This is sort of a self-taught class. I'm there every week. You're there every week, multiple times weekly. But you still need to do the work, okay? And you need to do the readings. So if you'll go through this, you'll see where the discussions are. You'll see where the lectures, usually you start with the overview. That tells you what's going on for the unit. Then you start with the readings, and there's often quite a few readings, a lot from your textbook, and then a lot I have online for you. Then you come to some lectures. These are often PowerPoint. Some are interactive. Some are other forms, movies like this, that kind of thing. You always hear my voice, so you know what's going on. These are never very long, okay, but they help you with important concepts that you need in that unit. Then you get to the discussions, and I have that broken out by weeks. Those are very important. I give you the due dates. They must be completed by that date. I grade them right away. I accept no late discussions. That would be just like missing a class, okay? You can't make it up if you're not there. Then finally, near the bottom, you always find the major writing assignments, okay? And that tells you what you're actually going to be writing for the class. This particular unit, I often have the criteria there for the particular assignments. Criteria means what I expect and how to go about doing it. I give you some other advice in there, so make sure you always take a look, even though it's near the end, make sure you know what the major writing assignments are for a unit before you kind of totally understand what you're going to be doing that unit. So always look at that. Then in this particular unit, item 10, it's very important that you look at viewing my comments. I assess and grade by making comments, and my comments are mostly verbal. I'm always talking about revision and revision strategies. I'm not correcting your paper for you. I don't do that, okay? I cause you to learn how to correct your own paper. It's very important. So please read the item on item 10 on viewing my comments. Does it do any good to just know what your grade is? You must know what I said about your paper. And then you'll see that there's a graded quiz. Units 1 and Units 2 do have graded quizzes. So the final folder is the one called Class Resources. There's another attitude check there. That's a lot of fun. I've reiterated the little file on viewing my comments, tell you how to do that. So I just can't get over enough telling you that's critical that you view my comments, okay? You don't just pay attention to the grade. You must know what I had to say about your paper. Then I have circled here 2 special features. They're extra credit features. The first one's called Ask the Librarian. That takes place in Unit 3 when you're working on the research paper, so you put off thinking about that for now. But Ask Jean, the one on the bottom right-hand corner, is really kind of cool. I don't work on the weekends. I watch football, drink beer, that kind of thing, go for long walks with my wife, lift weights. So don't call me on the weekends. Don't email me because I won't be paying attention, all right? So what happens, say you get to the weekend and there's something you don't understand, well, ask Jean. Jeannie like a lamp, okay? Rub the lamp, ask Jean. Okay, so what that is, it's a place where you get extra credit by posing a question, and then you get extra credit by answering the question. Okay, now I don't expect you to answer your own question, but this is a very popular feature. It really takes off. There's often 80, 100, 120 discussions in here by the end of the semester. So go ahead and ask each other questions in there. Try to get a feeling for the responses. I don't get in there, all right? I don't answer the questions myself. I stay out of there other than just to simply count your posts at the end of the semester and see how you did, okay? So that's a place, though, where you can get course content information. You get questions answered from students who think they might know the answer. If you don't know the answer, very often your students do. They found something that you found. Well, expect another one of these next week. Please, at the very beginning of every week, take a look at this homepage. Listen to the video that I put at the top of it. Make sure you know what's